It says I'm live. There we go. Nice bright screen. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for November 8th. November 8th is the 312th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 313th in leap years, with 53 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is battery. Battery is another word that has many different meanings. Presenting as a noun everywhere I've ever seen it, battery can mean a collection of things used together, like a battery of achievement tests, or a device that produces electricity and may have several primary or secondary cells arranged in a parallel or series, or a unit composed of the pitcher and catcher in baseball, the battery, or an assault in which the assailant makes physical contact. Battery, a multi-purpose word. I'd like to take a moment to mention that links to my research are in the show notes, along with a link to my This Day in History playlist. I'll put a link to that playlist up in the corner there after the video, after the live finishes and the video renders. And then it also pops up in a card at the end of the video here, once, you know, after the live, not at the live, but afterwards. Let's see here. Oh yes, ask you to go ahead and click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with others. You can do that with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. And I think that's all of the housekeeping that we need to fiddle with. And with that, have you ever heard of Murano glass? Well, on November 8th, in the year 1291, the Republic of Venice in Italy, Venice, enacted a law to confine most of Venice's glass-making industry to the island of Murano. I looked it up, and it's actually several islands connected by a bridge, but that's what they said, the island of Murano. On November 8th, in the year 1519, Hernan Cortés entered Tenochtitlan, not to be confused with Teotihuacan, and Aztec ruler Moctezuma welcomed him with a great celebration. Those Central American names, kind of hard for me to pronounce. I don't know if I've got them right, but I've listened to other people say them, so I think I've got it right there. This is the birthday of astronomer and mathematician Edmund Halley, born November 8, 1656. He used the laws of motion to calculate the periodicity of a particular comet, and it was named after him when, oh yeah, it really did come back just like he figured. Halley's Comet comes back ever so often. Edmund Halley lived to the age of 85. This is the birthday of businessman Milton Bradley, born November 8, 1836. If that name seems familiar to you, you may be thinking of the company he founded, Milton Bradley Company, a board game manufacturer. Hasbro bought Milton Bradley out some years back, and I don't think anything is currently being produced under the Milton Bradley name anymore. But if you've ever played Hungry Hungry Hippo or The Game of Life, Twister, or Yahtzee, those started out as Milton Bradley games. Milton Bradley himself lived to the age of 74. This is the birthday of Irish novelist and critic and creator of Count Dracula, Bram Stoker, born November 8, 1847. We call him Bram, but his birth certificate name was Abraham. He lived to the age of 64. A woman named Mary Lyon founded a school called Mount Holyoke Female Seminary on November 8, 1837. It was later renamed Mount Holyoke College and exists to this day. Abraham Lincoln was reelected on November 8, 1864. Montana was admitted as the 41st state of the Union on November 8, 1889. German scientist William Röntgen discovered X-rays on November 8, 1895. I cover him more fully in last year's episode of This Day in History, which you should be able to find by going to the link in the show notes and type in November 8th. It should pop right up. This is the birthday of author Margaret Mitchell, born November 8th, 1900. She wrote the American Civil War era novel Gone with the Wind. Interesting note about Margaret Mitchell: when she was about 3 years old, her dress caught fire. She was unharmed, but the event so traumatized her mother, I can well imagine, that Mom began dressing Margaret in pants, and she acquired the nickname Jimmy after the name of a comic strip that was popular at the time. That's particularly meaningful to me because I know a couple named Jimmy and Margaret. Later on, she said that she was a boy named Jimmy until she was 14. Back then, they didn't have computers with these nifty word processors, and written pieces were typed out on paper with a typewriter. You could get quite a stack of paper writing a novel. That said, for a while, Margaret Mitchell used the manuscript she was working on, Gone with the Wind, to prop up a wobbly sofa. I'm glad she got that thing fixed and got her novel out and sent to the publisher. This is the birthday of South African surgeon and academic Christiaan Barnard, born November 8, 1922. He was a heart surgeon and did the first human-to-human heart transplant. He lived to the age of 78. On November 8, 1923, Hitler led a group in an attempt to take over the government of Bavaria, which is a state in southern Germany. They did not succeed in that effort. This is the birthday of singer Patti Page, born November 8, 1927. She was often introduced as the singing rage Miss Patti Page. Whenever I hear her name, I think of her singing Tennessee Waltz. Lovely voice, Patti Page. She lived to the age of 85. Franklin D. Roosevelt was elected as 32nd President of the United States on November 8, 1932. President Roosevelt unveiled the Civil Works Administration on November 8, 1933, in an effort to create jobs for millions of unemployed folks. On November 8, 1960, John F. Kennedy was elected 35th President of the United States. He was the youngest man ever to be elected to the American presidency and also the first Catholic elected to the post. The cable channel HBO launched on November 8, 1972. And that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something you didn't know before. I know I sure did. I always do. Again, links to my research are included in the show notes, and also the Day in History playlist. There's a link in the show notes to that. And remember, I'll be putting a link up in the corner once we're done with the live and the video renders for later viewing. If you enjoy, I already said that. I've got a little piece of script here to make sure I don't miss anything. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Give it a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this with others. And that's it. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. And now I look for the thank you very much button. And then it says, are you sure? And I always say, yeah.